Just waiting for this to go live. Take a few seconds to sync with YouTube. It says it's live on the Hangout, but it always takes a few seconds. Yep, it looks like we're live. Good to go. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. We could see Mikey, Charlie Cutting in the chat. Evening to you both. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I mean, today slightly later one, 9 o'clock. But I thought I'd do some stuff, and there is a lot to, there's certainly a lot to, cover today. I mean, in terms of international coverage, more so than anything, we've had a lot of, domestic sort of stuff in prior weeks, but today, kind of the international sort of scene takes the cake. So yeah, I kind of have a few topics that I would like to talk about. There is the odd domestic sort of edge towards it, but this show will probably be heavily more so focused on the international sort of coverage. Thanks, Mikey. Really appreciate that. I think you guys may have to deal with me rather than BG. Maybe I'm a bit more boring. I will get my Skype up and loaded if anyone wants to have a chat on Skype. It is my personal handle, because my let's say my professional and YouTube handle isn't working anymore for some odd reason, so I'm gonna have to go with my personal one, but I will put it out in the chat if anyone wants to have a chat with me and go having a bit of a back and forth. Yeah, sup, Brennan? Hope you're well, mate. So yeah, let's go with the rundown. I've got a few notes on my phone of the topics that I would like to focus on tonight. I mean, Belly Flores has been made official, but more importantly, Maurice Breidis is on the undercard, potentially. That's the rumor I've been hearing the last couple of days. So we could talk about that briefly. I've heard a very, very interesting one. Yuriorkis Gamper versus Miguel Cotto at sort of 150, a catch weight. So, that's certainly one to talk about. Zlaticanin versus Mikey Garcia is another one. Mikey actually tweeted me with the sort of tweet of Dejan Zlaticanin that he was fighting Mikey Garcia on October 15th, I think it was, if I'm correct. Subsequently, I'm not sure if it's the tweet's been deleted, but we'll wait and see. Nothing really concrete has come out on Zlaticanin versus Mikey Garcia, so that's something to talk about if anyone wants to chat about that. Yes, Mikey, I've actually got Warren versus McDonald agreed terms. It's for the sort of one WBA world title, not a regular or a super. As we all know, Jamie is the regular champion at bantamweight. Payana was just beaten by Raushi Warren for the super title and the IBO bantamweight title. So it'd probably be for those, the full WBA one title, and probably for the IBO, which is a minor trinket. Yeah, Dejan's tweet has been deleted, so I was correct. I did check it just before I went on air just to double check, and it's been deleted. But it would be a barnstormer. If one of you guys can let me know if Mikey Garcia is actually rated in the WBC top 15, that would be nice to know. But I'm not sure if he is. Please do let me know in the chat. Oh, it is his pin tweet. Okay. Yeah. So we'll wait and see. Nothing has really been concrete about that. But yeah, great fight. We'll talk about that in a bit. Chavez Jr. He said he wants a fight later on this year. There have been opponents that have been banded around. We can minorly talk about. Not sure if minorly is a word, but we could talk about. Oh, he's quite high in the WBC then. Oh, number 2. I mean, yeah, but yeah, my point being, we could talk about Jalen Love versus Rocky Fielding actually as well, which is something I'd like to talk about. Some of the smack talk they've been talking is quite funny. So yeah, we could talk about that. Billy Joe Saunders, Rosado, Brennan brought that up. I've heard a rumor that it might be in December time, and it might not be the Canelo fight. So yeah, that's another good fight. You know, if it gets made in terms of Billy Joe Saunders' profile, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. But that's something I want to discuss. I talked about it on Gossip's live show on I think it was Friday. I can't remember, but certainly the other day. And you know, me and Irish Tom had a disagreement. So I'm actually planning to do a video on coverage and exposure in boxing, possibly a slightly longer one from my normal videos. So I will post that soon, and you guys will get the heads up on that. Roy Jones Jr. His most recent fight and something to do with that, some news on it, and yeah, the Olympics very briefly as well. We talked about it last week, but just some ongoing coverage from that. Yeah, so let's dive right into it. BJ Flores versus BJ Flores versus Tony Bellew. Sorry. I mean, this is not a fight I'm excited about in any way. You know, any stretch of the imagination. It's a pretty dull fight, uninspiring, but you know, I could see Bellew winning. You know, quite boring sort of unanimous decision. You know, it's not something I'm going to enjoy watching. But hey ho, that's boxing. Maurice Breidis, I'm really happy to. I'm really happy seeing him over here. He's a fantastic cruiserweight sort of prospect, contender level now. You know, the guys like him, Murat Gassiev, those sort of guys, they look like real top quality guys. I mean, maybe not as good as someone like Alexander Usyk, who's fighting Krzysztof Glowacki in September. Sorry, I will talk about Price actually just after this, mate. Since we're on the Liverpool sort of theme, Mikey. I mean, it's not. You know, as I said, Bellew and Flores is not the sort of fight I want to see. I want to see Breidis, and Breidis is fantastic. He's looked really good. He looked good against Dola, who you know, he really done a number on who was his name, Dmitry Kudryashov. Sorry, and yeah, I just think it's going to be you know, it's going to be really tough for whoever Breidis is facing. And I think Tony Bellew, you know, he has his deficiencies, and against Breidis, I think is a better version of Makabu. And I won't say I didn't rate Makabu before the fight. I did think Makabu was going to win, and I thought he was going to absolutely slaughter Bellew. So I give Bellew a lot of credit. So I can't really you know, discredit the guy. He's done well for himself. He's probably going to make some good money in this fight. You know, I would say a slightly easier fight anyway. In terms of, you know, he's facing someone known, at least, not to the casual fan, but you know, I mean, he's known in the boxing quarters. He's actually a pretty decent commentator, I'll be honest, BJ Flores. But you know, he's getting a shot. Fair play to him. Bellew, I just think will beat him. But I know everyone's talking about Breidis being the mandatory in the chat, but he is the mandatory, but he's not actually the next in line as far as I know. I think it's Grigory Zod, and Grigory Zod is yeah, he's on a death row. Yeah, Zod I think beats him quite comfortably anyway. He'll just outbox him for 12 rounds. He could probably knock him out late. Breidis, you know, you're better off trying to sign up to, you know, a firing squad, I guess. Breidis is massive puncher. Some of the stuff he's done against these sort of top guys, Duradola, he battered him for 8-9 rounds. Manuel Char, he brutally KO'd, and he looks like he has some really good skills as well. So yeah, I'm really interested to see Maurice Breidis live over here in the UK. You know, on our screens. Certainly a very good prospect. You know, David Price first fighting Molina, Mikey. I mean, you know what, mate, it's a tough one. yeah, that is one of the best KOs I've seen. Breidis vs Char, brutal one though, mate, brutal, Charlie. But yeah, Mikey, I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, he's talking about Anthony Joshua, isn't he? So I don't know, man. He fights Molina. That's a tough fight, mate. And I think Molina is it would be a favourite going into that fight, to be honest. And Molina's improved since the Deontay Wilder fight. He caused Deontay problems as well. But I mean, it's just, hey, Ace Gaming, hope you're well, mate. Nice to hear from you after our chat the other day, mate. Hope you're well. Everyone, check out Ace Gaming as well. He does some good stuff in regards to FIFA. So please do check in on him. Yeah, I mean, I'd see Molina winning that fight, but anything's possible. David Price probably gets a massive payday from Anthony Joshua. So yeah, we'll just wait and see, mate. Honestly, it's one of those ones. David Price is ranked in the IBF, so he can get a voluntary shot, and he's got that sort of power. He can, one punch from him can starch AJ. But AJ for me has to be a heavy favorite going into that fight. Fundamentally, David Price is not good enough. He didn't look good. Sorry, against Vaclav Pesya, this sort of Czech security guard in his last fight on a Tony Bellew undercard. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to touch on that Jalen Love and Rocky Fielding situation after, mate. I will do that. But yeah, David Price, we'll wait and see. They have to be very careful managing his career. The Sauron brothers, he's on a big platform on Sky Sports. He's getting decent money, I guess, in comparison to maybe what he would get at a small hall show. So yeah, I mean, we have to wait and see with David Price. But I just think he's a knockout waiting to happen again. He really needs to either cash in this fight, or what, it's a tough one with David Price. So I really don't know how to I don't know how to describe the sort of situation, but yeah, he's one of those ones. We'll have to keep an eye on him, certainly, and what happens with AJ. As far as I know, AJ has a sort of announcement coming soon, or Eddie Hearn has an announcement. So yeah, we'll wait and see. It's a dangerous fight for the money he'll be getting. So it's a very high risk, low reward sort of fight. I mean, Molina's a B-level fighter as well. That's the problem. And beating sort of Molina is not going to get you a world title shot, or doesn't put you in a mandatory position. So there's not much incentive for David Price. But fair enough, if the Sauron brothers want him to fight and they think he can win, why not? But yeah, we'll wait and see. I mean, as I said, plenty of time in Price's career, or so he thinks. So we'll see, I guess. Rocky Fielding versus Jalen Love. It's not a fight that's been made, but it's been there's been some bashing of each other on Twitter. And yeah, 35 grand I thought is a bit derisory. It's a bit of a joke. And Jalen Love, he's more skilled than Rocky Fielding. But I wouldn't say his chin would hold up. I'd say his chin's not too great. So yeah, I don't really rate Jalen Love, to be honest. He's average, and Fielding is average as well. They're both sort of, in terms of I know Jalen is from America, but in terms of levels, they're about European level. They're not any higher than that. Fielding didn't look good against Rabras for me. Callum Smith really done a number on Christopher Rabras. He dropped him. Dominated the fight. George Groves dominated the fight against Christopher Brass. So yeah, Fielding just I don't rate him, to be honest. I expected Callum Smith to beat him, but not in the sort of way that he did, and I think he may have significantly regressed since that fight as well. His trainer, I don't really rate Oliver Harrison either, to be honest. So hey ho, I guess some guys are more loyal. Not that it's a bad thing. It's not, I'm not saying leaving trainers and changing trainers and that sort of stuff, but sometimes when you're fundamentally struggling with certain stuff, I mean, Mikey, I'm not trying to be brutal, but yeah, I am that sort of person, I guess, that you know, when I see something, I just tell it how it is, and that's the sort of person I am in the real world as well. I'm not really you know, looked too fond upon because of that, but I mean, you know, when there's something fundamentally wrong, you're going into a fight and trying to fight fire with fire against a massive puncher in it. Well, you know, his record suggests Callum Smith. You know what's going to happen, and that is, you know, that is what makes a trainer. Joe Gallagher, I mean, you know, some of his skilled fighters, he has some skilled fighters in there. You know, I'd say probably two of his most skilled are Scotty Cotto and maybe even Anthony Crawler. Anthony Crawler knows his way around the ring. I think he kind of, you know, he has that Joe Gallagher, cop end. I've seen much of the Olympics. I will talk about it towards the end. I did speak about it last week, so it's just kind of like an update on what's been going on. Joe Joyce, Joshua Boatsy, Katie Taylor. So some of the stuff that's been going on, I will cover it later on in the show, mate. So yeah, but Harrison and sort of Joe Gallagher, I mean, they're good, but are they really the elite level trainers? You know, and then you compare them to maybe Shane McGuigan. I know Shane McGuigan and Joe Gallagher have the sort of run-ins, but Shane McGuigan, if you look at what he done in the Carl Frampton Santa Cruz fight, you know, Carl just adjusted. You know, he could box on the inside, box on the outside. You know, showed excellent footwork, and a lot of that is to do with you know, Shane McGuigan. So we have to credit Shane McGuigan. And yeah, Adam Booth is there. I know he trains Ryan Burnett. He's a fantastic trainer, master tactician. Peter Fury, I'd like to see more from him. I know he trains, obviously, Huey and Tyson. He's another good trainer. But, you know, going off what I know, Adam Booth and McGuigan, probably they're the top trainers at the moment that we have. McGuigan probably isn't given the credit he deserves, maybe because only Huey has like one elite sort of fighter at the top of his game. That's Carl Frampton. Carl Frampton certainly grew on me in that Santa Cruz fight. But we know he has David Hay and George Groves. George Groves is, you know, at this moment in time, it's not nice to say, but he is a high-level loser. You know, until proven otherwise, until you know he beats a Chudinov or a Sturm or you know, a world champion in his division. He's a high-level loser at this moment. Although I think he's a very, very good high-level loser. Let's put it that way. George Groves, you know, I think he can win a world title, you know, probably against a weaker champion. As I said, if Sturm or you know, one of those guys can, if he's facing one of those guys, sorry, then yeah, I'd like to see, I'd like to see George Groves progress. But he's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think he's at the sort of level that he should be at, or he was at under Adam Booth. I think he's, you know, lost a lot. I hope George Groves isn't watching, because I like George Groves. I think he's probably got the best jab in Britain, to be honest. He has a fantastic jab, honestly. I'd say, you know, maybe high level loser doesn't really sum it up well. I don't think. I think I just think he's an elite level loser, maybe, or he's a definite world contender. Let's put it that way. Martin Murray maybe is a high level loser, because he loses at the sort of, you know, the world level, not the elite level. I mean, Carl Froch is an elite level fighter. Jack, I wouldn't say he's elite, but you know, he's certainly one of the top fighters at you know, 168. And I think if you're talking about elite in that sort of, you know, in that sort of similar term, he'd have to be, you know, there or thereabouts, even though he's, you know, certainly not better than De Gale, I'd say. But yeah, I mean, George Groves is a fantastic fighter in his own right. Don't get me wrong. I just think, you know, his record suggests that he's lost at the top level as when he stepped up. But you know, I certainly think he can do some good things in boxing. I think he can win a world title as well. I just think once he wins the world title, I think Rob McCracken. I haven't really seen him train any trainers at this moment in time, Coppen. So can't really make a judgment on him at this moment in time. But Groves, I think he should be fine at 175 anyway. I just think he's coming down from close to 200 pounds, and you know, 168. He's a massive guy. He's quite, you know, quite big, and he just needs to move up for me, mate. To be honest. So guys, sorry. The lines are free. If anyone wants to Skype me, I'm gonna just put my Skype name in the chat. Please do get on Skype and have a chat, have a back and forth with me. I'd like to hear your thoughts and you know, hear more from you guys, not just myself ranting and raving. It's quite boring me, you know, just having a rant at the screen. I guess I'm not sure if you guys agree, but yeah, just get involved. I'll put my Skype name in the chat. I'd appreciate if someone calls in and we can get a back and forth going. It'd be nice. If no one calls in the meantime, in the interim, I will just carry on with the sort of list that I've got. Since Coppen wanted to talk about the Olympics, briefly, Katie Taylor lost today in the lightweight sort of category. I didn't watch the fight, but I definitely heard some stuff. My cousin said he scored it 2-1 to Katie Taylor, and I respect his opinion a lot. He's a very, very knowledgeable boxing fan. He knows his stuff. So yeah, there's a big possibility Katie Taylor did win, but I'd have to go watch the fight myself and you know, take some stuff from it. Erislandy Savon lost. He lost the decision, I think it was. I'm not sure, but he lost, which was a bit of an upset. Joe Joyce obviously won in the preliminary round, I think. First round KO. And Joshua Buatsi won yesterday as well. He looks really, really good. He's a light heavyweight, I think. So yeah, Buatsi, I think if he turns pro, he'd be really, really sort of decent guy. Anyone heard of the French guy in the Olympics? I'm not. If I'm honest, Charlie Cutting. I'm not caught up on this dude. I might have seen this. I might have seen the fight, but I can't remember his name. You know, one of my favorite French fighters, I'll be honest, is Karim Guerfi, who recently beat Ryan Farag in the bantamweight division. He looks really, really good. I know he's had a few losses on his record, but he looks really rangy for the weight. You know, he can fight on the inside, fight on the outside, and I think I'd like to see him move up in levels at bantamweight. Farag is decent, but you know, he's a sort of European level. Tony Yoko is his name. Yeah. So yeah. Moving on. I mean, that's the Olympic sort of coverage. You know, done and dusted. But we'll move on. And I've heard, obviously, we've been talking about it earlier in the chat. Dejan Zlaticanin versus Mikey Garcia. Well, you guys have put in the chat that Mikey Garcia is number 2 at is number 2 in the WBC rankings, which is quite surprising. I'm not surprised, but totally. But I am, you know, slightly. It is slightly weird. And someone's just giving me a dislike in the meantime. I must have been boring someone to death. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's a tough one. I mean, Mikey Garcia is coming at the deep end. He's faced a quite established sort of former world champion in Elio Rojas in his last fight, and he's going straight into the, you know, the deep end of the lightweight division, and it's just, I don't know. It's a tough one, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he looked great against the Rojas guy. Didn't think he looked too good. That was just my opinion. You know, some people said he looked really, really good and that sort of stuff. So fair play to him. I don't know. But as I said, I just think, you know, Mikey Garcia of a couple of years ago would have annihilated someone like Zlaticanin. And Zlaticanin is a world level, you know, sort of top operator at lightweight. He's a very, very good operator. But this Mikey Garcia now, I don't know what he's got left, I'll be honest here. He looked like he had a lot of miles on the clock. I think Matt Legg could win the interim WBA heavyweight title, or IBO maybe, if Tyson Fury vacates it quickly. But no, in all honesty, I don't think Matt Legg could win a version of a world title unless it's those fake WBF titles or, you know, WBU or whatever it is. So yeah, there we go with that one. But yeah, since the tweet has been deleted by Zlaticanin, or I'm not sure, there's been some back and forth in the chat, but yeah, we don't know. Zlaticanin is very strong at 135, but I don't know. It's a tough one. Mikey Garcia is a fantastic fighter. Let's put it that way. So is Zlaticanin, and I can't really pick one or the other at the moment. I'd probably reserve judgment until fight night, and you know, maybe the first round or two I'd have to judge it after then. But up until then, I'm, you know, happy to sit on the fence on that one. It's a fantastic fight. It's just it's a tough one. It's a very, very good fight. You know, it gets the blood pumping for the lightweight division. But it's, you know, for me, it's a tough one because Terry Flanagan, where does it leave him? Frank Warren was talking about Terry Flanagan versus Zlaticanin. You know, do you know what? I'm going to say it again. I know BG changed his opinion. I watched the end of his live show after we spoke, and Irish Tom came on the line. You know, Frank can't do a good job exposure-wise. He's very outdated. And that's not me saying I like Eddie Hearn either. I don't like any of the promoters. I'll put it out there straight up. I don't like any of the promoters. They're doing their job. Barthélemy has moved up. He said he was moving up after the Mickey Bay fight, so I'm not sure who he's fighting, but I think he can win a world title at 140. Since Terence Crawford may be moving up as well, 2 titles may be vacant soon. But yeah, I'm not a fan of any of the promoters. I will talk about this in a separate video as well, but I just want to bring it up briefly. But you know, this is if, let's say, if Mikey Garcia is taking Terry Flanagan's place and fighting Zlaticanin instead, you know, it's a massive loss for Box Nation in terms of Terry Flanagan's exposure. And Terry Flanagan, you know, he needs a big fight. He's fought Mazonki Fana, who's washed up, 42 years old, and you know, look, he gave him, you know, a few problems in the rounds. You know, he won comfortably, but you know, in few rounds, I thought Fana did pretty decently in the fight. I gave him about 2-3 rounds. Yeah, and Felix Verdejo has had an accident as well. I talked about it in the last live show, actually. So it's a tough one. I mean, I don't know what Frank's trying to do with him, and we spoke about it in Gossip's live show as well. So I won't speak about anything, you know, more on it. I will. I'm gonna. It looks like I've gone down. I think. I'm not sure. Let me just quickly have a look. Yeah, still alive. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. It's just one of those ones, and it's a tough one, really. It's a tough one. You know, moving on. I will speak about that in much more detail in a separate video. I want to do an extended thoughts video on exposure, promoters, and that sort of stuff in boxing. So I will do that possibly tomorrow or Wednesday when I get a chance to do it. I will do it certainly for you guys. So shout out Irish Tom. You know, shout out to Irish Tom. You know, give credit to him. If you guys want to see that video, I mean, he gave me a bit of an inspiration to do that sort of video, and that's something I quite keen to hear everyone's thoughts on, certainly. But yeah, I mean, We could talk about Chavez Jr. wants to come back briefly. He wants to come back in 2016, and yeah, I mean, I heard JD on Love banded around a lot. It's just it's a tough one with Chavez Jr. Don't rate him. Puts on too much weight. He should be fighting at 160, using his natural height and weight advantage over people. He's just not a good fighter. But he said he wants to come back, and he wants to fight this year before try and challenge for world honors next year. So we'll wait and see. But he certainly doesn't do his father any favors. Let's put it that way. His father in his day, fantastic fighter. Brilliant fighter. He's just not living up to his name. Let's put it that way. Swiftly moving on, because Chavez Jr. is not worth too much of a mention. We'll talk about Billy Joe Saunders versus Rosado. We'll talk about maybe two of the main topics towards the end, so we can get some more discussion on it. Billy Joe Saunders versus Rosado. I mean, I'm hearing that Billy Joe Saunders. I will be talking about that topic in a bit, Mikey. I'm definitely going to touch on the main aspects of that. Billy Joe Saunders versus Rosado. I've heard a rumor today that it might be moved to December on Boxing News. So yeah, I mean, I can't see it. I mean, it's just one of those ones. It's not a fantastic fight, but I mean, it would get some good exposure for Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders apparently asked for Artur Akavov, who's I think an 18-1 sort of prospect level guy, but I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. And again, it goes back to the promoter. I think the IFL. Do you know what? I disagree with you there, Mikey. I'll be honest. We agree with a lot of things, but here I'm going to disagree with you. If you guys haven't watched the IFL TV interview with Billy Joe Saunders, the Raw one, talking about Rosado, Eubanks, all that stuff, it's only on a few days ago. He sounded really, really annoyed and quite peed off at the fact that Frank Warren hadn't got him a meaningful fight, especially after the Bursak pullout. And yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, I don't know. Billy Joe Saunders, his team, his team. His team need to be blamed. It's not Billy Joe Saunders' fault, I don't think. He's proved time and time again. He'll put his undefeated record and his titles on the line. He's faced some really good opponents. Let's put it that way, or sort of decent level opponents. Eubank Jr., Andy Lee, Nick Blackwell back in the day, John Ryder when he was undefeated, Emanuele Blandemura, Jared Fletcher. I know these guys aren't the most stellar and spectacular names, but he's faced, solid opposition. And I really rate Billy Joe Saunders, but his team are not doing him any favors. They're doing him a disservice and then doing his talent a disservice as well. And I think, if Billy Joe Saunders listens to my live show and watches my videos, shout out Billy Joe Saunders. I love it. I love his style. He's got fantastic skills, honestly. And I've seen some of the stuff that they've, Billy Joe Saunders and, English or whatever you want to call him, doesn't really, or deluded father, it's the same thing. But they've been going at it, on Twitter. I've seen that as well, just about to mention it. 80-20 split. You know what? It's hard to disagree with that, but at the same time, I don't think he realizes if there's a slightly more favorable split towards Eubank and they have it on Sky or something, they might get a good sort of payday from it. So, I don't know if that's Billy Joe Saunders just flapping his gums or he's being serious, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. But, come the end of the day, I just think Billy Joe Saunders is too good for Eubank and, he's his kryptonite, let's be honest. That style is something Eubank can't handle. Eubank's a top fighter, but he's not a top boxer. And Billy Joe Saunders, his style was a nightmare for Chris Eubank Jr. and I think he beat him in a rematch. But it'd be a good fight, and the build up would be fantastic. James Collins has scored for West Ham. James Collins, you know what? Briefly, before I finish on Billy Joe Saunders, I have a West Ham career mode on FIFA 16. I have a PS4, and James Collins came to me and he goes, "Mate, I'm gutted you're not playing me." So I just got rid of him, and I actually. Oh, great! Yeah, it's just been sent into administration. Yeah, Reading, we suck, to be honest, and our owners haven't done us any favors. So I'm just actually looking at that. Yeah, we are deadly terrible. Let's just put it that way. We sell all of our best players. I know I'm digressing slightly, but we sell all of our best players. We don't sign anyone good, and I don't know what else to say. That's another story for another day anyway. But Billy Joe Saunders, yeah, I just think he's one of the top fighters at middleweight, and yeah, it's a tough one, man. It really is. I would like to see him fight Monroe Jr. if not Rosado. Monroe Jr. is when Marwan Shamak chipped our keeper, I think it was. Don't remind me of that match, but yeah. Monroe is a good fighter, very good fighter actually, good boxer, good mover, but he just hasn't got a name. I know Rosado's had a load of losses on his record. He's got like 9 losses, I think, but it's a tough one because Monroe Jr. is a good fighter, but he doesn't gain anything. Billy Joe Saunders doesn't gain anything out of fighting and potentially beating him. So it's just I just don't know, man. Turiona Johnson, that would be a good first defense as well, but I think that's a tough sort of first defense. I think Billy Joe Saunders probably wanted an easier one, like he did against Max Bursak. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, Turiona Johnson. I know Ryota Murata, a top-ranked prospect. He's in the WBO top 10, I think, as well. He's inside the top 15, but I think he's inside the top 10. Tommy Langford, I think, is actually number 2. So this Eubank Jr., if they go for the rematch, number 2, he might be able to take Langford's place in the WBO rankings and could get a mandatory shot at Billy Joe Saunders. But it remains to be seen. Billy Joe Saunders just needs to get active. I know he's in Marbella training, but before that he looked deadly fat and he looked completely out of shape. So a peak Billy Joe Saunders, he after the sort of Andy Lee win, he said he wanted to keep the fight and keep active and keep in shape and keep the belt and that sort of stuff. He hasn't really done anything since, so he really needs to pick up from where he left off against Andy Lee. Be active and be serious about boxing again. For him, it's the sort of party lifestyle and that sort of stuff, and he's not really bothered. But he needs to get his head in the game. He's got some serious talent, and hope he comes through with it. And maybe a potential fight against Canelo or Billy Joe Saunders. Canelo or Golovkin. But we'll wait and see on that one. Briefly, Roy Jones Jr. He tore his bicep, I think his right bicep. In his last fight, he won the fight 10 rounds to 0, basically, against a journeyman who had lost X amount of fights. I haven't checked his record, but it's just he said his career might be over, but he said that many a times, and I'm just looking forward to see Roy Jones Jr. close this active boxing career chapter. I just don't want to see him boxing anymore. I just think he needs to retire. And he's got a good job at HBO. And he's good at his job. He's not punch drunk or anything. I just think he's looking and he's saying, I can still compete. I don't have any physical injuries and I'm still Superman and that sort of stuff in his head. I just think he needs to retire and pack it in. Roy is just he needs to retire. Let's put it that way. I can't think of any more words to describe Billy Joe Saunders. I keep saying Billy Joe Saunders today. I'm stuck on that topic. I've read so much on it the last couple of days that it's just permanently in my head. But yeah, Roy Jones Jr. just needs to retire. Let's put it that way. Margarito also fought this weekend as well. Yeah, he didn't look too good. I think it was against Sal Canelo Alvarez's brother or something like that. I didn't see the fight, but I heard he didn't look great. So yeah, I mean, hey ho, Margarito loaded his gloves and tried to kill Cotto. So yeah, let's put it that way. I don't really have the sort of time of day for Margarito to talk about him, but he's got he's got something loose in the head. Let's put it that way. If he's going to try and load his gloves and almost kill Miguel Cotto, who was a substantially smaller man as well. Paul Smith. I haven't really heard anything from Paul Smith. I like his commentary, Mikey. I do like his commentary. I think his commentary is very, very good. And he's a very honest sort of scoring pundit as well, like a commentator, pundit, and that sort of stuff. Yeah, Charlie Cutting, he is a disgrace. Let's put it that way. Him and his trainer as well. Also, Luis Resto and Panama Lewis, I think they're disgraces as well to boxing. They're disgusting for the sport. But Paul Smith, yeah, I mean, he's not world title level as a boxer or anything like that. But he is what he is, and he really gave a good go in the first Arthur Abraham fight. But he is one of those guys who, let's put it this way, he is a high level loser, and he's just not good enough at the top level. The most recent sort of long interview I saw with him, he said he wanted to fight. Giovanni De Carolis, so that would be a good fight. I could see him winning that fight and getting a WBA trinket there. But against the sort of top boys, he's not good enough. Obviously, he's lost to De Gale in the past. Badu Jack, I don't think he'll beat Badu Jack. Gilberto Ramirez, I don't think he'll beat him either. So yeah, Paul Smith is, he's just there. Let's put it that way. De Carolis beats him. I don't rate De Carolis. Let's put it that way. I just think he's a terrible version of Carl Froch, and when I mean terrible version, I just think he's so bad. Tyrone Zoiga was boxing his ears off, regardless of whether it was a draw. Everyone thought De Carolis won or Zoiga won. He was definitely boxing his ears off in certain rounds, and De Carolis is there to be boxed. And he's got that sort of strength and come forward, aggressive, decent chin and that sort of stuff. But he's an awful fighter. I don't rate him at all. He got lucky in beating, not lucky in beating Fagan Boots, but he got lucky in getting a rematch and fighting Fagan Boots and that sort of stuff. I just don't rate him. Fagan Boots is not great as is as well. He is being touted as a really, really top sort of prospect, but we'll see on Fagan Boots. He's very young. He's still got plenty of time. But if he fights like how he did in the Carolis rematch, especially, then yeah, I don't think. But then again, he's too strong and tough for Smith. Smith rocked Andre Ward. I don't like to say that, but he definitely rocked him. So you never know. I mean, De Carolis, I don't know. It's all personal opinion, isn't it, Mikey? I just don't rate De Carolis. I just think he's damn awful. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Maybe I don't know anything about boxing. I've been told that by Irish Tom a few times, and some people in my comment section and stuff, I get a bit of abuse. But that's boxing. That's boxing for you. Guys, the lines are free, very free, but no one seemed to call in, which is a bit disappointing. Neither do I. I don't rate Smith, but I think he's a bit better than De Carolis. But yeah, no one's called in, which is a bit of a shame. Obviously, I'm not at the sort of boxing gossip height of 3,000, almost on the cusp of 3,000 sort of subscribers. No, but I'm kidding. But it'd be nice to have a caller, get someone on if we can have a chat. About 45 minutes into the show, and it's just been me ranting at the screen. So, it'd just be nice to get someone on. and have a chat and really have a back and forth. But if not, I'll carry on with the last two topics I'd like to speak. Last two topics I would like to speak about. um, cheers, Charlie. If you'd like to call in, please do. Mikey, anyone, call in. If not, we can just run through the chat as well. Just carry on with the last two topics I'd like to discuss. And if anyone calls in. If not, we'll call it a day after. But Roushie Warren versus Jamie McDonnell. They have agreed terms for the WBA sort of amalgamation of belts. It's a good fight. It's a very, very good fight, actually, to be honest. Mikey, call in, mate. Honestly, hi, Tom. Hope you're well, mate. If you'd like to call in, please do call in. My Skype name is below. I'm going to just post it for anyone who wants to join. And I think it looks like the whole cavalry is appearing. Please, someone call in. It'd be nice to get someone on, but I'm not going to beg or anything. As a joke. But yeah, it'd just be nice to get back and forth. Archie, gossip is not live tonight, unfortunately. So you're gonna have to deal with me, mate. Mikey, if you'd like to call in, please do. As I said, don't feel you have to. Your voice is dodgy. My voice isn't the most splendid, as you could tell. But we're all in on the football. Lampard and goal. But I haven't got my my sort of stuff on my TV. Otherwise, I'd be watching it while I'm on this live stream. But it's good to be, caught. It'd be good to. It's been good to be updated in the chat. So much shout out to you guys. Yeah, McDonnell versus Warren. I mean, it's been some good stuff. I mean, in terms of two very, very good fighters. For me, I'd say based on pure, resume skill and everything like that, probably McDonnell's number one. In terms of talent, I think Zlaticanin is probably number one at bantamweight. But McDonnell, he's been there, done that. He won the IBF title against Julio Ceja, unfairly stripped of that. He beat Tomoki Kameda twice, should have won a WBO belt. WBA didn't really sanction that as a thing. There's a lot of chat about Matt Legg in the chat. I'm going to try and get him on my channel soon if I can. That'd be awesome, just to see you guys have a bit of a chuckle and get involved with Matt Legg. But that's later down the line. Who wins in 1 or 2 years? Oh, you know what? That's a tough one. I still think Tete is a fantastic sort of fighter. He's just one of a kind, and I think Tete would beat him. But Burnett is fantastic as well. He's a great fighter, and I think any of the other bantamweights, I think he could beat some of the other top bantamweights. In the next sort of year to 18 months. Harley, I support Reading Football Club. So yeah, we just got into administration. Mikey has just told me. So not the greatest of stuff tonight. But I guess we'll live and someone will buy us and we'll finish mid-table again, as usual. Ola John is a very good player, actually. I'd like to have him. I'd like to have him back, but evidently we can't afford it, which is a shame. But yeah. Cheers, Archie. Thank you. Hope you have a good evening, mate. Yeah, I think Ipswich will beat us. I think Darryl Murphy plays for them, actually. He was doing well last season, I think. So Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we lose to Ipswich. Let's put it that way. Yeah, so I mean, going back to Warren McDonnell, it's just one of those ones, mate. Like, Warren is skilled, but I don't know. It's just a tough one. I can't see. I can't see Warren winning this fight. Warren is good. Warren is good at what he does. He's a pot shot sort of fighter, and it worked on Payano. But Payano is just, he's good. He's aggressive, but fundamentally, he's not as good as Jamie McDonnell. And I think Jamie McDonnell is just is a fantastic fighter. He's one of my favorite fighters. I know he's not so fashionable and stuff, but it's just one of those fighters. I like his style. I don't know why. He's always appealed to me, and the Kameda fights really interested me. I think that's probably what that was maybe what made me even more interested. I was very interested after he beat Julio Ceja a long time ago. So yeah, I mean, and Lee Haskins was a good fight as well. I mean, back in the day. So yeah, I mean, Lee Haskins holds a version of the world title as well, IBF title. So the potential rematch if he gets the sort of full WBA belt, the one belt, and he can sort of unify. I know Lee Haskins is fighting Stuart Hall. We have discussed Eubank Senior Harley. This will go live. Sorry, this will go up after this. After I shut down and everything, this will go on the channel. So please do feel free to check it. I think Jamie McDonnell wins. Haskins, he's awkward and that sort of stuff, but he doesn't look good in the later rounds for me. And I just think McDonnell's too good. I back McDonnell against Kameda twice as well. First fight, I could have seen if it went one way or was a draw to either fighter. But second fight for me, clearly McDonnell's. He's a very, very good fighter, and he's definitely in the top sort of 5 fighters in the UK for me. I think very, very good fighter. He's defended his belt 4 times. So I hope the Warren fight is just around the corner. But if he has to travel, he has to travel. If not, he has to and he defends it over here. That's even better. But as long as he's getting good money, for the fight, hopefully it works out for him. He's much better than his brother Gavin. I rate him much higher. So, yeah. It's just one of those ones. I think I need to I need to invest more time into watching Warren. Maybe I've watched a lot of his fights. Maybe I'm missing something, but I just think McDonnell's too good for him. And I think. Some of you guys were saying Quigg will probably be McDonnell. I can't see that. I think Quigg's good, but at a certain level, and McDonnell I think is really, really good. I think he's a sort of world champion, or if he's at a sort of stellar weight, he's a contender definitely. He's a very, very good fighter, and I just think he'd be too much for Quigg, and there's no telling what Joe Gallagher's game plan's going to be. He might just tell Quigg to sit off for the first 6 rounds again. So who knows? Tyrone Nurse. I don't think he'd be heavy favorite against Ricky Burns, but I do rate him, and I think he can beat Burns. But I know some of you guys were saying in Gossip's live show about Jack Catterall. I know he didn't look great in his last fight, but Jack Catterall is a decent fighter, and I think he may give Tyrone Nurse some problems because Tyrone Nurse gets involved in a scrap, and he doesn't necessarily stick to his slick boxing the way he should and make the fights easy for him. But it is one of those ones, and it's all personal preference. Some people don't like Tyrone Nurse, some people do. So I like Tyrone Nurse. I think he's a very good fighter, but he just needs to keep his head screwed on and really focus on his boxing rather than brawling. Lastly, I'm going to talk about Gamboa versus Cotto. This is it's just Nurse is very tall for the weight. Yes, he's very awkward for the division as well. I think you know, Nurse, can he win a world title? Yes. Will he win a world title? Probably not. Only because his game plan lets him down, and his discipline, I think, in the ring lets him down. But he's certainly got the skills to do it. It's just, as I said, the tactics. And if the tactics go to plan, he seems not to follow it, or maybe just I don't know. It's just one of those ones. It's a conundrum with Tyrone Nurse. So hopefully he can really refine his game and work on that sort of stuff. Gamboa versus Cotto. I mean, this is an awful fight. Landmark, we're up to 10 people watching. So well, we're down to 9, but we got up to 10 people. So big shout out to you guys. Really appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I mean, Gamboa versus Cotto, this is an awful fight. You know what? Gamboa is just, yeah. I just don't know what to say on this fight. I mean, he's moving up. For me, he's sort of featherweight at best, or at best super featherweight. I mean, I know he's trying to fight at super feather at 130, but for me, he's a featherweight who's kind of pumped up to super feather, and then obviously he's gone up to lightweight to face Terence Crawford. I know I'm the first guy to say he gave Terence Crawford hell for the first 6 rounds, and Terence Crawford even says he's the hardest fight of my career to date. So I mean, it is one of those fights, but it is a joke, really. And Mikey, you're spot on, mate, in the chat. It's embarrassing what Cotto and his team are trying to do. They're trying to drag up a guy, almost over 20 pounds. Let's put it that way, 20 pounds, and try and bring Gamboa up to past welterweight. Then bringing him up to light middleweight. That's an absolute joke. Worse than Brooke Golovkin. Let's be honest. Or even Danny Green or something like that. It's just an embarrassment. It really is a joke. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those. It's one of those ones, and Gamboa might give him a few problems. Let's put it that way. He's got some serious speed, and he might give Cotto some problems. Cotto's very old. He did look terrible against Canelo. Let's put it that way in his last fight. But there's when you're fighting a very, very quick, nippy guy, your age can show a bit as well. So yeah, it is one of those ones. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Cotto and his team. Would have preferred to see, Cotto versus Lara. I wouldn't like to see that fight. Let's be honest. I think Lara would just box on the outside, dance, and make it a very, very boring fight. Sorry. Cotto versus Jack Kelsey would have been a good fight, possibly. Kelsey sort of prospect who got elevated from interim to regular champion. He's fighting Demetrius Andrade or Demetrius Andre next. Andre beats Cotto. Trout's obviously beaten. J-Rock is fighting the bigger punching Charlo. I think Cotto maybe against the lighter punching Charlo, that might be a good fight. He could probably win a title there. I don't really rate that Charlo brother. But maybe against that sort of opponent who's not at the top level, maybe that would be a good fight. But it's just one of those ones. I don't know why his team are trying to do this. They're trying to they're trying to kill Gamboa, trying to slaughter him, bring him up over 20 pounds and almost decapitate the kid. But this is boxing, and anything is possible. Anything is really possible, and I think don't be surprised to see Gamboa versus Cotto up maybe 150, 151, 152, something like that. Don't be surprised at all. That's all the sort of topics I've put down. We've been going for an hour. We didn't really get a caller on, which was a bit disappointing. But we've kind of got through all the topics that I wanted to discuss. Most of it was kind of like a rundown of international fights and that sort of stuff. So I'll go through the chat, and I've got a question or two here and there. So if you want to you know, if you want any questions that you want me to answer, or you know, you have anything in particular that you'd like me to speak about, then please do put it in the chat. If not, I'll just go through what's left and we'll make a move. But Tom CFC said, who do you rate as the best guy at 154? For me, it has to be Demetrius Andrade. He's a fantastic fighter. He's big for the weight. He's strong. You know, he can switch hit. He fights on the inside. He fights on the outside. He has respectable power. He's got everything. He reminds me of an Andre Ward type of guy who has probably a bit more power. Christian Late, I haven't seen enough of. I'd have to invest more time on Mikey, I'll be honest. But yeah, Andrade, I think he's probably the best fight for Golovkin as well. I'll be honest, Mikey. It's just one of those ones. I don't know. It's a tough one, man. It really is a tough one. I don't know, man. Because some people say Lara, some people might say the bigger punching Charlo. So yeah, I mean, we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see until all of these guys fight each other. Some people are saying J-Rock as well. So you know, until these guys all fight each other, we can only yeah, we can only think. Latest tip to beat Andrade. I will definitely check up on this guy and you know, I'll possibly make a video. We got to 11 people viewing, which is very, very good. And I appreciate all the people viewing this now in the live chat, and all the guys who may watch it after when it goes up on the channel. Julius Long, you know, he's awful. You know, just a big punching bag. Jarrell Miller is a sort of divisive figure. Divisive figure. Check him up now. Yeah, I bet it's one of these guys who are terrible. Like, you guys are just yeah, he's a journeyman. Thanks for that. Yeah, don't be saying that thing. Bowie Tupu. Yeah, I mean, Julius Long is not a good fighter. Let's put it that way. Jarrell Miller is a very divisive figure. Let's go back to him. Jarrell Miller is, you know, he's just that sort of fighter that I don't know. I don't rate Jarrell Miller. I'll be honest. I don't rate him. He's just average. You know, he's been calling out AJ. He's been calling out those sort of, you know, top level guys. And I don't know. I really don't know. It's a tough one, man. I don't know. I can't understand. I can't understand at all. You know, Jarrell Miller. I have to see more of him. I really do, and against some sort of decent level. Not, you know, I know he's fighting Fred Cassie, I think this Friday, if I'm correct. So yeah, I'd like to see that fight, see how he fares. We know Huey done a pretty easy job on him. He got a technical decision, winning all around. But yeah, I mean, I think Jarrell Miller is a pretty bog standard prospect. I don't really rate him that highly. America don't really have that many heavyweight prospects anyway, so you know, it is what it is, really. Dimitrenko versus Parker. Obviously, that's in November. I will make a post-fight video. A prediction and analysis video for that. But Parker, I think, wins that fight pretty comfortably. You know, UD or sort of mid to late round stoppage. Dimitrenko is good at what he does. He's there. He's solid. But just it's just a tough one, honestly. He's not good going forward. And I think Parker, you know, Parker's too good for him going forward, and Parker will get some good momentum for the AJ fight probably later down the line in, you know, early 2017. Andre Berto, don't rate him. Never have rated him. but he's probably getting a world title fight against Danny Garcia. You know, he's got decent power. He's explosive, but fundamentally he's not good enough. Just, you know, at the top level, he'll get beaten, you know, every day of the week and twice on a Sunday against the top fighters. So yeah, I picked Danny Garcia in that fight, but Andre Berto, you know, might cause a shock or two. If anything, if Victor Ortiz win is anything to go by, but let's not put too much emphasis on that one. Joe Joyce, I don't like him or dislike him. I don't think he's great, or I don't think he's, you know, not great. Again, we have to see more of him. We only saw him in a preliminary bout. So yeah, it's one of those ones. We have to see more of Joyce. I know loads of people are talking all kinds of crazy stuff. He's going to beat, you know, AJ. He's going to beat Fury. What are the odds? Joyce to go pro after this and join Matchroom. There's a lot of talk on Joe Joyce, but I really rate Joshua Buatsi. He's a fantastic fighter. He looks well accustomed to the pro game, and I think you know, he'd be a good sort of guy to go pro. But yeah, as I said, I think we've discussed everything that needs to be discussed. We've taken some, you know, parody sort of questions from the chat and some serious questions from the chat. So much appreciation to everyone who's been, you know, talking in the chat and enjoying it. And yeah, Nistor was robbed in it. Yeah, certainly, mate. He's a decent fighter as well, to be honest. I would have liked to see Roberto Camarelli turn pro, but yeah, it never happened. Yeah, that's just is one of those ones. Camarelli would have been a good fighter, I think, at heavyweight. He would have been, you know, certainly better than Taeshon Dong, I think is. I'm not going to answer any more parody sort of guys. We've had a bit of fun. We've had a bit of fun. So you know, let's put it that way. I think we've had our fun for the night. But Boto vs Parker too. Please no. Boto will get decapitated and be straight off the hospital. We don't want to see another accident again. Yeah. So it's a bit, as I said, a bit unfortunate that no one called in, but we'll try and do this, you know, every week, or, you know, every so often, that gets everyone involved, everyone enjoys it. As I said, it was a bit of a shame that no one called in, but it was fun while it lasted. We've been rocking and rolling for about just over an hour, so so yeah. Jake Ball is decent. Reading, I can't remember who we're playing tomorrow. I haven't checked the fixtures, mate. I will check it for you right now. Since I'm quickly on, Jake Ball is a good prospect, actually. I quite like him. You know, I think he's good. I'd like to see him versus Tom Baker. That'd be, or Anthony Yard, because they're sort of, you know, prospects, to see who'd go on do slightly better. But those guys have you know, a good sort of upside to all of them. Tom Baker's good. You know, what days are your shows going to be? Monday? No, mate. I just thought I'd do one today. Sometimes I go on a Monday, just before. Yeah, we are playing Newcastle on Wednesday at 7:45. Hopefully that's on Sky. I can watch that while we're on the you know, on the podcast. But you know, hopefully we'll win. Newcastle aren't great anyway. Yeah. It's as I said, Monday. I tend to go live just before BG goes live. I think he goes live at about 9 o'clock. So I tend to join him on his live show. You know, as I'm not a celebrity name, no one seems to join me. I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, Tom, if you could get back to me on a day that might be suitable for everyone, and I can kind of work around it. You know, Tuesday might be a good day. I wouldn't mind a Tuesday if you're gonna if everyone could do that, and people would be happy to join in. Then Wednesday's a podcast. Thursdays are a bit busy for me as well. In the weekend, kind of I work on a Friday. Tend to be out. So Saturday, Sunday, I am out in the evenings, but I can do. I'm at work until 10 o'clock. Friday night, I tend to be out on a Friday night since I don't work on Friday nights anymore. Saturday, Sunday, I work till 10, so that's a bit of a tough one. So it'd probably have to be, possibly Monday, slightly before, or Tuesday, I'd say. But me versus Irish Tom, I think he'd have a top chin, so I don't think he'd stand up to my power. But let's say I think we're, we can go for Tuesday or Monday. If you guys follow me on Twitter, if you guys follow me on my Twitter page, my personal handle will be in the description. Some of you guys already follow me. Please do. I will tweet it out when I'm going live. It's Tuesday's Champions League, so you know what, we're gonna have to go with Monday. I'm going to do a number on Irish Tom. Irish Tom, if you're watching this, the fans are calling for it. The fans are calling for it. They want the fight. Fight me, and let's make some good money. Pay-per-view. Certainly, the trash talking from Irish will be will be splendid. I will. Sherry will be Sherry will be fighting for a world title on the bill as well. Let's get it all going there. I mean, guys, we'll go next week, probably Monday or Tuesday. I will post it on my Twitter feed, so calling for that. Harley, I don't actually have beef with Irish Tom. I quite like him. He's quite funny and stuff. It's all good banter. But I mean. Let's we all use Google Hangouts, which I'm currently using for my my live stream. So we all just come on a live chat together, and we join as like a sort of conference call, and just have a chat on that. But yeah, please do get Skype. I might try and get you on Hangouts, but as it is my personal email, I'm already giving away my personal Skype. So it's one of those slightly awkward ones, but my sort of professional one or my YouTube one doesn't work. So as I said, Monday or Tuesday, get involved on my Skype. My personal Skype. Get involved on Twitter. Some good boxing discussion on that, and please do let me know your thoughts on anyone you could. Anything I could do that you may find of interest. Sorry. If you guys don't like the stuff I'm bringing out, please do let me know. If you enjoy it, please give a thumbs up, leave your comments, enjoy, spread the words, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. It'd be, we just want to help the channel grow, and some real good passionate boxing fans on here already, as we can tell by the few jokes going on, but. No, it's been good to have a back and forth on a chat. Get involved on Skype, as I said, and I could do a heavyweight rankings. I mean, top 30. I don't really want to do that. It's similar to gossips, but we'll try something different. We'll try and do something because I know you guys love your heavyweights. Cheers, Mikey. I'm going to make a move now. Take care, guys. Enjoy. Thanks to all that have been in the chat, all who are going to view this when it goes up on the channel. And take care, guys. Catch you on the next live show. Catch you on the next video. Enjoy. And peace.